Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is Amanda. So we're going to be doing some healing today for India and the scale of the pandemic and the suffering that is happening out there at the moment. Before we get into that, and before we set our sacred space and bring in all of the beautiful divine energies that want to help with this situation, can we please just park any of our political grievances and put them to one side, because why I've been called to do this video today by my guide Archangel Metatron is to help alleviate the suffering that is happening out there at the moment. Very disappointed to have just gone onto my Facebook page where I put that I was going to be doing this video today, and I've just seen a few comments alluding to the fact that this is all trickery, fakery, the pictures that are being shown are false. I don't know what to say to that other than I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Okay, so those of you that are here and would like to step up and help, thank you for being here. Please like this video, not to massage my own ego, but so that other people get to see it. It's just the way that YouTube algorithms work. I'd also like to put in context what we're doing here, because this is not to panic anybody. It's not to put fear in anybody that is not actually directly going through this experience in parts of India at the moment. Context is important. I was looking up the most populated countries in the world, and the top three by a mile, well no, the top two, sorry, by a mile. China has 1.4 billion people. This is just stats that I've got off the internet, so, you know, if I'm a little bit out, please forgive me. India has 1.3 billion. And then the next most populous country is the USA with 331 million, which is like a drop in the ocean. I hadn't maybe fully appreciated till I saw those figures quite how much larger China and India are than the rest of the world. And of course, within India, second most populous country in the world, there are cities that are hugely populated, which is not helping the spread of infection at the moment. Most populous cities in the world, I was surprised by this, is actually Tokyo, 37 million, Delhi, 30 million, Shanghai, 27 million, Sao Paulo, 22 million. If we look at Tokyo, for example, we are not seeing the scenes coming out of Tokyo with a more populated, more density in terms of people as we are, for example, in Delhi. So something is badly wrong here in terms of how people are being cared for, looked after. And I know people will say, because I've been, you know, looking at comments on other news channels which are talking about this, linked into, well, you know, India can afford to be in the space race, for example, the arms race, almost as a reason to just turn away in terms of, well, they should just be looking after their people better. That doesn't actually help the man on the street or the woman on the street that's suffering. And I'd like us, who maybe are in other parts of the world, particularly Western countries, maybe very fortunate with better standards of living in terms, and I'm talking about people versus people, for example, who are in the slums. Obviously not all of Delhi is like that, but, you know, very impoverished parts. To maybe just consider that sometimes often, as we know, the decisions that our governments make in terms of what to spend their money on often doesn't come from the man on the street. So to blame the man on the street for what they're experiencing now feels very cruel to me. hence why we need to come together, I think, and do some healing work today. I will also pull some cards on the situation. I have also gone back and rewatched the video that I put out last March. And if I just have a quick look at that, obviously I wasn't talking about this second wave, I was talking about the first wave, but I was talking about a Vedic medicine, meditation, but also talking about the role of the divine feminine in India. I actually called the video Spiritual Maturity, Rise of the Female. And I'm sure that we've seen, I'm not going to show you lots of shocking images because, you'll have seen the news yourself. But this image in particular, which hasn't actually been printed very well by my printer, because obviously I've got stripes all over it, but you get the gist of it. 2 women lying in the gutter, one trying to tend to the other. And that's as far removed really from, the rise of the divine feminine as we can get. And it makes me very sad, should make all of us very sad. Of course, this disease doesn't have any boundaries in terms of male or female, but that's just a very poignant image, as is the image of I think what's caught the world's attention is obviously the way that death is regarded is different across the world, and rituals are different. The funeral pyre is, a normal sight, but again, it's not a normal sight to be seeing it in the quantity that we're seeing it now. So, but yes, putting it into context, the second most populous country in the world, if we actually look at the stats in terms of number of cases and number of deaths, it's unlikely to be replicated in other countries just because of the sheer numbers. So India has a population of 1.3 billion. The number of new cases at the moment they're estimating is 350,000 a day. That's probably an underestimation, with 3,000 deaths a day as I make this video in April. The UK population, for example, is 66 million. At the height of our peak, we had 60,000 cases a day. So these horrendous figures from India are probably unlikely to be replicated anywhere else. Probably with the exception, I haven't looked at Brazil yet in terms of I know it's bad there, but I haven't actually, for this video, I haven't looked at exactly what's going on there. But just because it's not necessarily going to be replicated to that degree in France or Germany or, wherever else you are in the world, doesn't mean that we shouldn't come together and care, because the point is, and what I stress all the time in my teaching, is that we're moving towards unity consciousness. And until we can start to see ourselves in people in our world that are suffering, we're going to find it very hard as a humanity to transcend that suffering, because basically we're wanting to just pass on by and not acknowledge it because it's too painful. I understand that. In my last video, I was talking a lot about overwhelm, and Archangel Metatron truly does understand that all of us are overwhelmed at the moment, wherever we are in the world. The problems of the world are overwhelming. And I did say in my last video that the guidance was to try to just focus on a couple of things where we can step up and help. You can't solve all of the world's problems, but there is a but to that. And the but is when something like this comes into our awareness as a world, and we are asked to make it a priority. There may be a different priority next month, but right now the spotlight is on India, and it's on India for a reason. And I believe that as a world, we're meant to look, we're meant to help, we're meant to send healing, but we're also meant to see ourselves in what's going on out there as well, okay? Not to walk on by, basically. I woke up with these words from Archangel Metatron. I actually put them on my social media accounts this morning because he just wouldn't give up. He was actually in a very strident mood this morning. He softened a bit, and this is quite interesting because what you need to understand when you work with Ascended Master Energies, it is a relationship. I always say it's a relationship of equals. And what I mean by that is that they need us, boots on the ground, to do their work and help their energy to spread just as much as we need them. It's a two-way relationship. And so I wouldn't say that Metatron was, I don't even know what word to call it because anger's not the right word. One of you talked about righteous wrath the other day. Maybe it was that. Indignation. It was just, the words were, to stand around and do nothing whilst you are awake is worse than being ignorant and asleep. And what he's talking about there is the whole woke culture, which is that I'm awake now and I know. But, well, if you know and you truly understand fifth dimensional consciousness and what that means, it means when there is great need in our world, we have to step up. We are not asleep, we are awake. And to do nothing is a travesty. When I say to do something, it doesn't mean you've got to get on a plane and go out to India, because none of us are going to be doing that. It means keeping them in your prayers, okay, which is the intention of this video. All right. Okay, without any further ado then, let me just turn this off. I don't think I need this anymore. I think I've mentioned what I needed. Let's just turn off the technology there. And I'm going to just introduce you to what I've got here on my altar and explain to you why I've got different representations of different faiths. First thing I would like to say is that as a Western woman brought up in Christianity but now doing what I do, I have great respect for all of the world's religions and every single belief system that there is out there, if it is of love and if it is of light and it's trying to empower and help. And I know that I don't want to cause any offence, basically, by, for example, having the different representations of different faiths beside each other. But it's just the way that I roll. And in my room, they all coexist quite peacefully. And also they coexist quite peacefully within myself as well. But I'm just wanting to say that I'm just trying to be respectful of individual beliefs as well. So we have a representation here from the Sikh faith. And this was painted for me by one of you. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. I know who you are. I've got your image in my mind. You painted this for me. And it says, recognize the whole human race as one. Sri Guru Gobind Singh. So there he is. We have Lord Ganesh. This is a temple statue of Lord Ganesh that was gifted to me by one of you. And usually he sits on his own over there, facing the right direction. But he's quite happy to be here amongst all the other energies today. We also have Krishna. I have a representation of the goddess energy as well. I have some cards on my desk as well. Where's my Buddha gone? Buddha? Jesus, Kali Ma, Lord Shiva. The point is that a country such as India is made up of many faiths, and they all wanted to be here today to help. Okay, so let's get going. Let's set our sacred space. Just connect into your breath. Take a deep breath in and out. Roots going into Mother Earth. Being appreciative of the air that we breathe. Really, truly being appreciative of the air that we breathe. The oxygen within our lungs. The bird's song, the daylight, the goodness of God. Asking God in all his many forms to be with his people now in their hour of need. Bringing into this session every sacred divine being that wishes to be here, that is of love and of light and wishes to help. And we open up and we create a portal here for healing to flow to India, to its people, to its cities, to its men, to its women, to its children, to its animals, and to its land, to its doctors, to its nurses, to its politicians, to its leaders. We ask for alleviation of suffering, light, healing, sacred connection to God, in whichever form is right for you, and to feel the strength of those different expressions of the Godhead coming through now, surrounding the country, surrounding its people. In gratitude, so be it, and it is so. Okay. So, let's just put this to one side. I don't even know what I'm meant to be saying to you because I feel I'm just being asked to be here as a central point, really, to focus the energies. So let's light some incense, which has gone out, and get going. I have a particular deck of cards that I was told to bring into this session, and it's this deck, the Japanese Tarot. Because I knew I was going to do a video at some point on India on Sunday. I didn't know it was actually going to be quite so soon, but I knew I was going to do it. And I was told that this deck would be in it. I pulled a couple of cards on Sunday, and I then realised why it had to be this deck and only this deck. And it's because represented in this deck all the way through on lots of the cards is the bat. Now, my intuition, I mean, I've said this before, I've done videos on COVID going back over a year, and we looked at the bat. The thing with regards to the pandemic is it's a multidimensional experience that we're all going through. There are many different layers to it. I was actually shown there was it was almost like multiple causes as well, and multiple things being highlighted. Animal welfare being one, the wet markets. But recently there has been some information coming out which is going back to the energy of the bat as a potential carrier of disease. Now, this was the card that I was shown. Now, this doesn't mean that the bat is a bad animal at all, because bats are actually really needed in our world, and I believe are an endangered species. Certainly they are in the UK. So it's not about making the bat the enemy. Well, actually, that is what happened. I feel that's probably what has happened, because there's stuff that I've been reading about how the lab in Wuhan that was next to the wet market had been asked by the military in China to investigate diseases within animals, particularly bats, just as to weaponize, basically. It's like a weaponized situation. So I'm just going to put dots here on this video, and as a tribe, the information is changing day by day, but this deck does have the bat in it. Now what I'm going to ask now, let's just get this out of the way. I don't know what the answer is. What I'm going to ask now is this new strain that is within India at the moment, has it been deliberately weaponized or manipulated? Yeah? Let's just see what we get. I don't even know if the cards are going to answer it. And I'm using the cards because they're good representations usually, and they help us to understand this new strain within India. Has there been a degree of weaponization by whomever? The Four of Gardens. I've never particularly liked that card in this deck because it shows somebody here, it's like a puppet master. Somebody's on the end of a string there. Has it been weaponized? Six of Fire. Eight of Wands. Seven of Wands. Right. Those of you that follow my work quite a lot, you'll know that this deck, I have particular interpretations for the cards. This one to me is very much about, both of these cards to me are about doing somebody else's bidding. This person here is in charge. This woman is sort of singing for her supper to these masters above. I don't like the energy of what these energies here, who are somehow controlling on a string, manipulating. And here, my interpretation of this card has always been she's singing for her supper to the masters above. And as such is trapped. Eight of Swords. And then we have the Seven of Wands, which is the energy of manipulation, lies and deceit. So something isn't right here. We know something isn't right here. On a more positive note, we have the Star card at the bottom of the deck, which is an energy of hope and healing. And I also pulled the Magician card before I turned the camera on this morning. I just said to Metatron, tell us what we need to know about India, and the Magician card came out. Now, it's not immaterial to know why it's happened and if it has been weaponized. Of course it's not. That truth needs to come out. And I believe if that was the case, it would come out at some point in the future because of the natural process of ascension. Anything dark or manipulated will come to light. But right now, let's just, play with the cards that we've actually got, in terms of life and what's going on the streets of India. We have the energy of the Magician. This is Metatron saying you have the power to be able to change this situation around India. Okay, you have the power within you to be the magician and to come back from this. There is healing, there is hope. You will get through this. Now, you probably can't see it on this particular, or maybe you can. Can you see there's like a little alien head there? There's a galactic energy, and there's also this which looks a bit like a comet. So this feels to me as though there is galactic help around India at this time. And it's interesting because I know the Pentagon have just released in the last week or so, I need to have a look at it on another video, they've confirmed some footage of triangular shaped UFOs basically that they can't explain. And it's almost like it's the first drip, 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 drip of official disclosure that may be coming. We'll look at that another time. But certainly here, around the whole energy with India, we have the galactic head, we have the comet. Comets are omens of change and bringers of change as well. So, and again, for me, this, if it feels like it's an attack on it, the virus will attack who it attacks. But I'm just talking here from a higher level perspective and what I've said about India before. I just feel it also feels like an attack on the divine feminine energy that is trying to rise. Now, remember, the divine feminine energy is within men just as much as it is within women, okay? But here she is forlorn. She's looking out to the universe It's as though, where are you? And I think that's why they're all piling in here to say, we are here in your hour of need. We are here. And, my language would be, look at all those beautiful orbs, all of the orbs in the sky, the angels, the guides, the star beings, all of the different belief systems coming into this extraordinary melting pot to bring in relief. And that's reminding me there of almost like a beautiful bed, like a feather bed. It's the complete opposite of what we've got going on here. Lying in the gutter, in pain, on a pavement. People are dying with no dignity. There's one picture I saw of a mother, and she's in a rickshaw, and she's just, she's in the rickshaw, her son is dead at her feet, his arms hanging out. She's just trying to take him somewhere, I suppose, to be cremated. People are having to cremate their loved ones in their back gardens. Can you imagine doing that? People are queuing up for oxygen. I said to my husband last night, if that was the situation here, I wouldn't even know what to do with a cylinder of oxygen. It's like, where is the help? Where is the support for the people on the street? I think, I believe that the dark always serves the light. It doesn't realise it is, but it is. And I think this situation, however horrific it is and grave it is, I believe that it might be the wake-up call that's needed to bring a greater degree of comfort and help and support to the people on the streets. I'm actually hearing India will be shamed into doing so. And I think it's so important that the wider world sits up and takes notice. And I'm talking here about the other leaders. I'm not completely au fait with all of the latest developments that's going on day by day, hour by hour, but just briefly looking at, the news this morning, from what I could see, there are offers of help coming in. I know there's offers of help coming in from my country, for example, UK. Is it enough? Probably no, but it's an offer of help. I don't know if this is true, but I just read something about Pakistan saying that they also wish to step in and help. I really hope that that's true. Wouldn't that be amazing if that was the case? Two enemy nations being able to drop the differences and just see the suffering and come together and extend the hand. I think I'm right in saying China as well. Hopefully it's all countries. But the thing is, for your country to galvanise and take action and step in and help these people, it has to start with you. If you represent America, or if you represent Germany, or if you represent Iceland, or I'm representing the UK, the fact that I'm here today doing this, it's because I care. I genuinely care. And if I care, I'm holding that torch within my country, as well as lots of other people, I'm sure. And governments have to act on what people, it comes from the bottom up, basically. So instead of always waiting for our leaders to do what they should be doing anyway, we have to be demanding change from a grassroots level. So I am hearing that change will come slowly, but change will come. But it feels as though I don't even know who leads India. I'm not up on it at all. So I've got no affiliation to any political party out there or religious affiliation. I don't know who your leader is. I'm sorry. Let me look him up now, or her. But it's to do with, I'm hearing they'll be shamed into action. Let's have a look. I should know. I probably should know. Indian Prime Minister. Oh, I recognise his face now. I do recognise his face. Narendra Modi. Yeah, I recognise his face. How long has he been in power then? President of India. Don't know. Should we just tune into his energy? Shall I pull a card for him? Because the thing is, whatever he's done, rightly or wrongly, you need him to be acting in the way that is, the divine needs to be working through him. Okay, there he is. Let's just bring him up so other people can see. That's him. Looks like he's been in power for a while. I mean, I'm just going off a photograph here, so, you know, he could have been having a good day. I quite like his energy, but, you know, that's just based on one photograph. Let's just pull a couple of cards for him. I'm sure you'll tell me, those of you in India, whether he's popular or not. I have no idea. Oh, well, I don't know whether I'm right. I mean, I just Googled, who is he? And it's come up with something from last August. I'm sure he's not as popular now. It says, why is he so popular? After riding a tsunami of support to re-election in the 2019 polls. Okay, well, let's just pull a couple of cards for him, please. Prime Minister of India. Prime Minister of India, what is there to say? Oh, okay. Right, he's just... He's... Look at this. He's been focused on just building up the economy. This is all... To me, that's the card of the economy. Technology, making America a technological giant, space race, whatever you know is going on at, you know, that's where his attention has been. But he had a choice. You see, here he is, King of Gardens, King of Pentacles. He chose to concentrate on industry at the expense of his people. And that's an interesting card. Six of Wands, which would be Six of Swords, which I'm just trying to remember. Six of Swords is about moving away. I feel, you know, he will be forced to maybe move away. Can you see this card? It's almost got like two divided pieces of land. This piece of land here feels very technological, you know, the advances in technology. Not saying that's not important, but that's where the focus has been. Here, this feels more like Mother Earth. This is your people. This is your people on the street. Have they got enough to eat? Okay, have they got adequate shelter? Have they got sanitation? Can you see there's a dividing line there? There's a dividing line there. And then this thing that looks a bit like a bat is now white. It's not black bat, it's a white bat. Oh, it's a man with bat wings. Okay, but it almost as though... It's interesting, it's white, or it's grey. Grey is about transition, change. He's just been focused on, look at that, his head's been down. You know, whether it's about trying to get good deals in. He might have had the best of intentions. I mean, certainly that photograph, he's not without his critics. However, especially for his government's Hindu nationalist policies and treatment of the country's Muslim minority, he's the most powerful politician in India for a generation. Okay. He talks of his humble beginnings, growing up without running water or electric lights. Yet he now has more than... He's rich. Has he forgotten his roots? Has he forgotten his roots? Has he forgotten his people? Why did he enter politics? I don't know, guys. I can't do like a 2-minute summary of it because I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of Indian politics. I'm not even going to try. I'm just saying that what I'm feeling is he's concentrated on industry at the expense of his people, and now his people are suffering, and his people are going to be demanding change. Okay. Let's pull a card from here. I want to bring in the energy of the tree. I was told to bring in the energy of the tree. Yeah, I keep seeing this one, cherry. What's that all about? Cherry and peepal. This one first. Pulled this earlier for India. Cherry tree. But look again. Can you see it's the divine feminine energy? The divine feminine energy. and she's sitting underneath the full moon. And we've just had the full moon in Scorpio. Apologies about the sound outside, it's got building work going on. So I'm recording this, Scorpio full moon, it's just gone. The cherry is a tree of the moon. With its white flowers, dark bark and deep red fruit, the cherry shows us the colours of the great goddess to whom it is dedicated. Trees are our neighbours. If we despise ourselves, we are incapable of really loving. It is that simple. Yeah. We must practice loving ourselves unconditionally. Get rid of your fear of being judged or condemned. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your soul has always been perfect, and it is the birthright of every being to be happy just with being. There seems to be something here that you shouldn't be born into poverty. You shouldn't be born. You should be born and have a birthright to be able to lead a safe, happy life. Seems to be the lesson coming up there. And then this one, I think, to be honest, the imagery says it all. Let's just have a quick look. Card 32 for India. So many hundreds of years before Buddha found enlightenment beneath the peepal tree, after which he became the Buddha, the Bodhi tree. Oh, it's the most sacred tree in India. Okay, I don't know any of this stuff. All right, this is the most sacred tree in India. Okay, so we've got this one coming up. The tree symbolises divine omnipresence, meaning in turn that the whole earth is sacred. Never forget that this is not about your enlightenment. Look at a single peepal leaf and then see the tree in its entirety. Turning away from the spiritual potential that lies within us and within nature leads to superficiality and materialism, and even more so to separation and loneliness. Human beings and the earth are injured, degraded and desecrated. I'm wanting to say it feels as though the country the focus has been on leading it away, maybe from some of its spiritual roots and its sacred land. There's two different messages. The pursuit of materialism, because you see the wealth that's coming into the country, because there must be wealth coming into the country, is it getting to the average man on the street? Or is it just coming into the top branches of society and not filtering down? It feels as though this is basically saying that there's an imbalance here. There's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with India succeeding, and indeed it needs to. But the money needs to be distributed more evenly to the people that need it. And that everybody has a right to live a happy, abundant, safe and secure life. And I think what's happening right now in India and what we're seeing is highlighting the fact that for many people, it's not a reality. It's not a reality. If you're dying in a gutter with not even any oxygen to help you breathe in your final moments, but yet you've got all this money coming into the country, what's that all about? So I think this is a moment of reckoning, is what I'm hearing, for the country and its people. But this is all after, the mopping up of the tragedy that is unfolding right now, that we need to come together and be with each other for. So let's just bring through some healing here. I was very drawn to the crystal amethyst today. was really wanting to bring in the vibration of amethyst, and I was being shown an amethyst crown. I don't know whether you can see, I've got a picture of a tiger over there, but above the tiger's head is a violet lotus. It's a lotus flower, basically. Open violet lotus flower above the tiger's head. I know tiger is one of the sacred animals in India as well, but equally the amethyst. So we're going to do some healing work here where we're going to ask for the crown energy of the oversoul of India to be flooded with violet light. I don't know, let's just see what wants to come through. So let's get ourselves into a meditative state and get ready to do some healing. I'm just going to have some water. Okay, because the main focus of me coming on today was to bring some healing through. There's so many questions in terms of the whys and wherefores, but right now let's just concentrate on the people that need the help. Okay. I need a lavender spray. Hold on. Crown chakra. Where is it? Just going to bring down the lavender soul star energy. I'd like you to concentrate just on the soul star chakra above your head, violet light, crown, soul star. Bringing down that violet light, opening up the chakras, feeling your feet on the earth. Connecting into your energy of your heart. Connecting into the hearts of other people. Connecting into the heart of Mother Earth. Connecting into the heart of Father God. Connecting into the heart of all that is. Feeling a strong pulsating heartbeat and steady rhythm of nature, of the cycles of life and death and rebirth. Asking Spirit to steady the ship in India and its cities and its people. Bringing in violet light wherever it is needed to help transmute pain, suffering and anguish. Asking all beings of light to be with each person in their hour of need, and to be with those that are supporting others in their hour of need. Feeling the energy of the land once again, and a powerful energy wishing to rise up from Mother Earth across the whole of India to support her people, to bring nourishment, comfort and love. For the rivers to be cleansed, the waters to be cleansed, the fires to be holy, the elements to help, the angels to help, the gods to help. Bringing in the energy of Lord Ganesh, remover of obstacles, to find a way to bring in better healthcare and standards of living for everybody in this land. For what is happening now to be a game changer, for obstacles to be removed, for a more equal distribution of wealth and wellness, so that all lives can be joyful upon this earth. Just feeling that energy of Lord Ganesh coming through. Powerful. Able to sweep away resistance, fear, stigma. Knowing what needs to be done. Knowing what needs to be done. Allowing this transmission of light and love and prayer to unify, to help, to bring support where it is needed. Thanking every single person watching for your generous heart, your kindness, your strength, and your light that helps people that you will never know, that you have touched deeply today by simply turning up and being present for this wave of light to now flow where it is needed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. 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 May we bring in light and love for the whole planet, for all people. Let us see this as an opportunity to come together, to find common ground, to be there for our fellow man, to put our differences to one side. In God's name, let it be so. Okay. Guys, I'm going to leave it there because I'm being told to leave it there today. That was our job today, just to send light. Sending my strength, personal strength and light also to all of my followers in India. I know I have quite a few. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye.